Welcome to the Hot Girl School, the podcast where we redefine confidence and go way beyond the reflection you see in the mirror.
We're your hosts, Lauren and Danielle, here to empower you to embrace your inner radiance because confidence is so much more than looks.
Whether you're strutting into an event or conquering the boardroom, join us as we explore topics like self-love, inner strength, and owning your unique journey to confidence.
So grab your favorite drinkie and turn up that volume because you're about to unleash your true potential.
Hey hotties, welcome back to the Hot Girl School, the podcast where we empower you to feel confident, aligned, and unstoppable. I am so excited for today's guest, Laura Conley. She is going to help us dive into how weight plays a role in confidence. And you guys, her background is so incredible. She is the founder of Yummy Mummy Method, a proven program that's helped hundreds of women lose weight for the last time. She's affectionately known as the fun weight loss coach because of her unique focus on love and empowerment rather than guilt and restriction. Her mission is to help mamas end the cycle of diet drama, rewire their relationship with food, and create a legacy of self-love that impacts children for generations. She's also the host of Lose Weight for the Last Time and has been featured on popular podcasts like Be Well and Earn Your Happy. So, Laura, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Danielle. I'm so excited to be here. That was such a good intro. I love that.
We're
I'm like,
so
can you
happy to
send me?
have you.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
we all need this. So I am so excited for our listeners and the stuff that we're going to capture from you today. So let's start by exploring your journey. How
Yeah.
did Yummy Mummy come about? What's been
Yeah,
your journey with weight and confidence and all that fun stuff?
totally. Well, I had my daughter Luna 7+ years ago, and I was right out of the shower. She was 6 weeks old, so I was obviously 6 weeks postpartum. And I
Mhm.
kind of had a wake up call because I caught myself beating myself up for not
Mm,
bouncing back into my pre baby jeans fast enough, quote unquote.
sure.
And in that moment, I was like, I'm going to pass this down to her if I don't clean it up. Like, if I don't heal this effed up relationship that I have with food and my body, like, she is going to inherit it. She is going to be sitting freaking at the high school cafeteria table, like having calorie counting contests with her friends. And I was like,
Ugh.
over my dead body, like, do I want that? Like, prior to that moment, I really had accepted defeat. I was like, this is just going to be my struggle. I'm just going to always be like yo-yoing and on a green juice cleanse only to throw in the towel. Like, I was like, and I was like, Laura, this isn't even that bad of a problem. Like, other people have way worse problems. So, but in that moment, I was like, no, this has been painful and I don't want to pass that down onto her. And so I went on kind of a crazy maniacal mission to heal my relationship with
Mhm.
food and my body. And I also still wanted to weigh what I wanted to weigh as well. And so it was like I wanted and both. And so through a lot of mindset work and like an emotional deep dive, healing my hormones, I really kind of created the Yummy Mummy method. And once I lost weight for the last time, it was actually kind of a scary moment because I was like, if I can do this, like if I really can lose weight for the last time and from a really healthy place, like an
Sure.
empowered place, um, like I have to help all the moms. Like my mission really is to free the moms from diet culture so that our kids don't inherit this. And I knew I could say all the right things to my daughter, but I knew she would catch me. Like I knew she would,
Yeah.
right? Like I knew she would like catch me glancing at myself in the mirror and like have that side eye of disgust. Or I knew she would catch me trying on like 18 different outfits because like nothing looked good. And I was just like in total disgust with myself. Or I knew she would notice me turn away, like if my husband like grabbed me in the kitchen or whatever, you know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
I was like, I just don't want her to inherit that. And so yeah, so that's kind of how it was born. I've been a coach for like 12+ years and really decided to like niche down 7
Sure.
years ago and make that my mission because I think it's like such a gift and there's so much freedom on the other side. I think a lot of us don't even know what's possible because the emotional, physical, mental, energetic weight is in the way. And so I don't know if that answers your question,
Oh my gosh,
but
it so does.
yeah,
And I know that for anyone listening that's a mom, they're like, wow, like we've all had those thoughts, and
yeah,
especially like good for you, 6 weeks postpartum and you go on this crazy journey of I'm going to fix that. And that's what's so special about becoming a mom too is you're
mm,
like I have
mhm,
to heal these things that I've been just pushing down about
yeah,
myself because you don't want to pass them. It kind of unlocks it. But
yeah,
I know like as you were talking, I'm like nodding. I'm saying
mm,
sure, right?
yeah.
And it's just that's so cool. How long did the journey take? Like how long did you go from all right, I'm 6 weeks postpartum, recognizing this thing, and now I've got to work on myself to, like, bringing something that you could coach on, like getting a program out. Like, what was your first step in that direction?
Yeah. So I think it took me like 6 months or a year, but as I started cracking the code, I started testing it on my friends and and some of my clients who were like my goal coaching, life coaching clients. I'm like, let me test this out on you guys. Like, let me make sure that this isn't like a fluke, right?
Sure.
Of like, let me see. So I started practicing really on some of my clients and some of my friends. And it was like, I remember having that same sort of disbelief, like, oh my God. I remember telling my husband, being like, this like really works. Like, I can't believe it. And what I had used to, it was just like a compilation of really like a lot of Eastern philosophy, mindfulness, a lot of like Western psychology. I have a psychology degree. I was already a coach.
Mhm.
I was a meditation teacher and a yoga teacher. So I was like, I was pulling things from all different areas and making it work. Um, a huge missing piece, I think, too, that like I never really got and until I went on this deep dive was hunger hormone health. Like, my hunger
Mm,
hormones were totally out of whack, and actually most of Americans' hunger hormones are out of whack and totally imbalanced, and it makes it really hard to lose weight. It makes it impossible to lose weight without, like, being hungry, and I was sort of, like, sick of starving myself, like,
sure.
I was really that girl that, like, went to college, gained the freshman 15 and then, like, gained and lost it 20 times, and every time I lost it, I was starving, and so I was like, "I'm just done with this, like, this is no way to live."
Yeah.
And so that was a huge missing piece is, like, blood sugar balance and hunger hormone balance, so I really studied that and, like, understood it at a deep level and then brought that to my clients, along with, again, the mindset stuff, the emotional intelligence stuff, the accountability stuff, um, I think also what makes my program now really unique is like the self-love piece and the fun
Mhm.
piece. And like nobody is teaching people how to have fun while losing weight. And then
Yeah.
that just translates to every other area of your life. And like I really do believe our purpose here on earth is to enjoy it, to have fun, which can sound kind of frivolous, but
No,
like
I'm with you. I love it.
yeah, and so, anyways, it's kind of I really think the weight loss through this methodology is kind of a byproduct of learning to love ourselves, of learning to enjoy every single day, a byproduct of really learning how to think and learning how to feel, which nobody teaches us how to do that, like, in
No.
grade school and high school, it's, like, such a missing skill, so
I mean, this should like your program should be plugged into every school. So just that's where my head's going, right? Okay, so let's go back to like the friends you tested it on and you're like, "Holy shit, you look amazing. This is actually working." Right? Did you see like their elevate like when you think back to that, like what were some of the changes in like their confidence and how they showed up in the world and how they
Mm,
showed up to girls' night or to a trip? Like what were some tangible things that you noticed when they were
yeah.
going through that transformation?
Well, what's so funny, and this happens still all the time, is most of my clients were on Zoom and are on Zoom, right? And so
Mhm.
I actually can't see their bodies, but like they start to
Ah,
look different, like energetically, like there's a
yeah.
lightness to their being, which I know sounds kind of woo and kind of cheesy, but like they just start to transform. And that's what my clients say now. I have a I have a lot of clients that come through word of mouth, and yes, my clients are out in the world, like, looking hot and sexy, but oftentimes what they say their friends say is like, "I want what she's having." Like, yeah,
Mm,
she looks good because she lost, like, 30 pounds or whatever, but, like, she's energetically different. And so, again, that only answers half of your question. I can give you, like, the tangible things
yeah.
too. But, like, girls' night is a perfect example. I just had a girls' night last night. And I think, a lot of times with weight loss, we are blocking ourselves because we can tend to people please eat. And
Yeah.
like for example, yesterday I was super hungry at like 5 p.m. and I'm like, you know what? Eff it. I'm just gonna eat dinner with my family because my dinner with my girlfriends isn't until 7:30. And what my husband is making is really good. And so I like want to eat that with them. I'm hungry now. I'll go to a girl's dinner and I'm gonna have like a glass of wine instead of eating. Now,
Mhm.
10 years ago, I never would have done that. I would have just eaten twice
Mm,
because I was, like, nervous about, like, well, what are they gonna think? And, like, I don't
sure.
wanna be the weird one, and I don't wanna, like, have to explain myself. And so this if you have any people-pleasing tendencies, this is, like, a way to heal your people-pleasing tendencies as well, because that was genuinely what I wanted. I always say my program really is, like, it's like a quest of like, what do I actually want in terms of my body and my health, my weight, my relationship with food, and then like how can I go get that? Like we tune out so much of the external noise so that we can
Yeah.
hear our own inner voice and our own inner desires and then go create that. And so, like, last night, I just didn't wanna eat dinner again because I already ate dinner with my family, and that's, like, a choice that I can choose, and, like, nobody cares. Like, my friends, like, it's so funny. Like, no one gives a flying F. Like, they do
Right.
not I mean, there will be that one food pusher in your life that will make the comments for sure, and, like, like,
Yeah.
I teach my clients how to deal with that as well, but most people don't care, especially when you don't care. When you have your own back and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just having a glass of wine." Like, no one gives a
Mhm.
crap. So
It's like that classic we make it worse in our head
mhm.
situation, and then
Yeah.
we're like, "Oh, we don't want that scenario to play out, so we're gonna eat 2 dinners. That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna do."
Yeah. Exactly, and then feel, like, totally over full, wake
Mhm.
up the next morning feeling kinda gross and hungover from too much food or whatever, and so, again, it's about figuring out, "Okay, what do I want? What serves me in the moment and what serves me in 5 minutes and tomorrow and in 5 days and in 5 months?" And really looking at that, and it's, like, a way to connect with your future self and, like, what she wants and go get it, so
I love that. I use, Layla Hermosi's, like, compass guide, which is I'll ask myself, "Am I gonna respect myself more or less with this choice?" And so if I'm feeling
Mm,
like that gut feeling when you're just like, I don't know if I wanna do that," I'll
mhm.
literally have trained my subconscious to go, "Are you gonna respect yourself more or less?" And if the answer is less, it's a hell no.
That
Like,
is
I'm not doing it.
so good. Yeah, that is such a good way because 'cause you'll get the answer so quickly.
So
Yeah,
quickly, yes.
yeah, and
Okay, so
some
tell
oh, go
me,
ahead.
what do you think is like the first step to shifting from diet drama to like that mindset of love and empowerment that you're all about?
Mm, yeah, so what can often happen is we'll create a plan, right? Like, "Okay, I'm gonna move away from processed sugar." I teach my clients that that is one way that you can work to balance your hunger hormones and lose weight fairly easily, actually.
Mhm.
And so they'll be like, okay, like I actually do want to move away from processed sugar. I don't want to have processed sugar the majority of the week. Right. And they will commit to that. And then inevitably they will make a mistake.
On the
And
weekend.
yes, always on the weekends. That's why we have support on the weekends now in Empty Mommy. Um, but inevitably we'll make a mistake, and that's okay. That's actually good because then we can learn like what's actually, like what's going on there. So they will eat the cupcake and they will think there's only two ways to respond to that. They'll think, okay, just put my head in the sand and be like, "Whatever, it's fine. Eat another cupcake." Or they'll start beating the crap out of themselves. So, "What is wrong
Mm.
with me? I told myself I wasn't gonna do this." Like, I literally must have, like, some sort of broken brain. Like, I'm, like, literally actually an idiot. Like, I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and I
Ugh.
keep not doing it. And so what we do is we either throw our head in the sand or we beat the crap out of ourselves. And so I actually want I want my clients to bring that to the surface so that we can heal that. And so what you
Mm.
can do is like again, my program isn't about being perfect. It's impossible. That's a fallacy. It's not going to happen. The work is, can you come in, make a mistake, and then love yourself in that mistake? And when you learn to love yourself in the mistake, you stop making the mistake. So what that really looks like is like, oh, I ate the cupcake. Huh. I wonder why that was. I wonder what was going on for me in that moment. Like it's possible to love yourself and be like, I am not wrong or bad or a failure because I ate a freaking cupcake. Like, it's not
Mhm.
heroin, right? It's a cupcake. And like, it's really healing. Like, for me right now, I'm working on my parenting and I can tend to be a little snappy. And so I'm working on not yelling at my children and I'm getting
Mhm.
better and better. But when I snap at my daughter and then I can be like hands on my heart, like, oh, like that is not who I want to be. And yet I'm still going to choose to love myself in this moment because if I
Mhm.
can love myself in this moment, I can actually repair with me and then repair with her. And so, like, again, this is like root work. And this is why I actually love that. Like, for me, I love that I had extra weight on my body that I didn't want on my body because it was the most healing journey I've ever been on. And it taught me how to love myself no matter what and to have my back no matter what. Like, I really can love myself unconditionally in my humanness. Like, we're all human,
Sure.
we're all going to make
Yeah.
mistakes. So, it's actually a great playground, so to speak, to come in and to say, like, I am going to move away from sugar because of blah, 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 blah. All my clients have different reasons. Like, some of us want to look hot, whatever that means. That's subjective in a bikini. Some of us want to lower the risk for chronic illness like diabetes or Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or whatever. Some of us want to decrease inflammation for X other reason, right? And so when we can come in and have those reasons and then make a mistake, it's actually so awesome because it's like you can then have your back in any scenario and then you become way less afraid of life, which
Mhm.
equals confidence.
One I
Like,
was like, "And that is confidence, my friend."
yes, exactly.
Yes.
And that's why I was kind of scared when I lost weight for the last time. I was like, "Oh, if I can do this, like I can do anything." And that like
Anything.
freaked me out in
Yeah.
the best way possible. But yeah,
But
yeah,
how
that's
freeing,
confidence.
right, to unlock that, and I always tell my clients too, like, your magic is in your mess, your magic is in your struggle,
Mm,
and for you, like, this is poof, like, look how many women you have helped through your own sharing your struggle and figuring out, "Alright, how am I gonna change this?" You made a conscious choice to go, "This is not how I wanna live my life." You made a change, and look what was born, like, so
yes.
freaking cool, and I made a mental note because I'm like, "Hmm, if I was a listener, I would be like, how do I regulate my, what'd you call it? Your food hormone?
Oh, yeah, your
Your
hunger
hunger
hormones.
hormone.
Yes,
Hunger
yeah.
hormone. I was like, I would wanna know that, and ladies, she told us sugar. Like, that's like, a good spot to start with, right? Is to
Yes.
remove sugar.
Yes,
Start
yeah,
regulating it.
yeah, removing processed sugar is huge. Like, processed sugar is something that was created to make big food a lot of money. Big food is
Yeah.
not bad or wrong, it's just a thing that exists in our world, and we get to decide how we want to interact with big
Yeah, if
food
we wanna
and
participate or
process.
not,
Yes,
right?
right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that powdery substance is designed to get you addicted and to light your brain up,
and
and
it does.
yeah, yeah, it
It
really
does.
does. It's, like, very, very highly pleasurable. So what I teach my clients to do is not to not have pleasure. It's just like, let's find true pleasure. Let's find
Right.
pleasure that gives us a net positive, not a net negative, because most of us, when we eat ultra processed food and processed sugar and even flour, and you don't have to give it up. Like, I still eat creme brulee and I still eat my favorite things, right? I
Sure.
just do it in a way that's strategic and in a way that like keeps my hunger hormones and my blood sugar balanced so that I can continue to weigh what I want and what that means. Cause like weighing what you want is great, but like I'm really curious and connected to the why behind it. Like,
Yeah.
why do I want to continue to weigh what I want? And that's what keeps me away from sugar. And it really is an addiction. Like, I don't crave it. Once you balance your hunger hormones, it's like you don't want it. You don't see it. You really don't. It looks like a freaking carrot stick on the counter. It's not as like, oh, it doesn't have that hold on you once you
Where
like
you're like,
really
"I
truly break
see
up
the
with it.
pantry. I'm
Yeah.
going. The cookies are in there. I know it. They wanna be in my body. They wanna be in I wanna have that one moment of pleasure." Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I
Exactly.
mean, like, truly, you're like, "Hmm," late at night, your late night snack. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's good. So, to balance your hunger hormones, start by removing sugar.
Mhm.
Let's give some more, like, tactical stuff that you can do. So, traveling.
Mm.
Traveling is where everything goes out the window for a
Mhm.
lot of people.
Mhm.
So, what are some good tips for around traveling and not leaving traveling the way you described eating a cupcake feels for
Yeah.
most people.
Yeah, exactly. So if it is a once in a lifetime trip, I'm like, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
do it. Right. And I always teach my clients to make vacation plans or vacation protocols, like exactly what they're going to do and not do. Because, like, for me, if I go on a once in a lifetime vacation, I actually don't want to eat whatever my lower brain wants to eat whenever it wants to eat it, because then I feel like ass. Sorry, I don't know if I can
Mhm.
say that on your podcast.
You
You're going
can
to
say
understand
anything here.
it.
Everything's welcome.
Okay, great. Um, because I know that if I eat everything my lower brain wants to eat the whole vacation, then I'm actually not gonna feel good on vacation, and, I wanna feel
Yeah.
my absolute best. So, again, it goes back to, like, how do you wanna feel on your trips, on your vacation? But if it is once in a lifetime, I'm like, let's do eat all of the things in a way that serves you.
Mhm.
But travel, like for me, I travel 1 to 2 times a month, and I really had to get real with myself. I'm like, if I wanna weigh what I want, I actually have to not eat sugar and flour. Sugar and flour are my big things. Like, if I
Okay.
don't eat sugar and flour, I can pretty much weigh what I want. Like, it's actually pretty easy, honestly. And so, I had to get real with myself because I was bought into the 80/20 rule. Okay, if I
Mhm.
eat healthy, quote unquote, whatever that means, that's also subjective.
Yeah.
Talk about that later. But if I was really bought into, like, if I eat healthy 80% of the time and then 20% I kind of like, throw it out the window, it's
Mhm.
fine. But like, it wasn't fine. I had the data. Like, I actually couldn't eat healthy 80% of the time and not healthy 20% of the time and weigh what I want. I couldn't. For me, it's like 95/5. So for
Mm.
some of your listeners, this might be a little bit confronting and like a bummer, and you might have to grieve the fact that 80/20 doesn't work for you. That's what I had to do. But
Yeah.
then it's a relief. It's like, oh, that's one of the reasons why I don't weigh what I want, because somebody told me it's 80/20 and it's not 80/20 for me.
Yeah.
And so I had to get real with myself and be like, okay, so when I go on vacation or I go on trips that are very normal, like a girls' trip, like I do a lot of girls' trips. So, like, when I go on girls' trips now, I pretty much stay away from sugar and flour. But here's the thing, sugar and flour don't give me that much pleasure anymore.
Mm.
They used to give me a lot of pleasure. So, it's not like I'm depriving myself when I
Sure.
go. It might sound like that right now, but like, I just don't care about sugar and flour at all. Like, I just don't care about them because
And
my
for so,
hunger
like, for
hormones are
you, like yeah, so I was gonna say for you personally, that's where your hunger hormone imbalance was. And then
exactly,
once
and
you
so I
pulled
don't
it, you're
crave it.
balanced.
Like, yes, it's not like I'm willpowering through life. Like,
Sure.
that doesn't work. And so I've developed the skill, and it's what I teach my clients too. Um to go on vacation and to just eat the way that I eat at home, and I actually like that better. Like, it's
Mhm.
not my methodology is not a compromise. It's not a like, okay, we're going to lose sugar and then we're going to weigh what I want, weigh what we want, right? It's
Sure.
like, no, it's a win-win, because and
We're
like,
gonna
it's hard.
balance.
Yes, it's hard to
So,
believe me, but
normally I'm
yeah.
like, balance is bullshit, but in this scenario, balance is real. Normally, I'm like, balance is bullshit, like, that's not a
Well,
thing, but
yeah.
for this scenario, I will say it's balance.
Yeah, hunger hormone balance, but you're right though, balance is because people will say with, like, food, like, they'll be like, like, it's just, 80/20. Like, they would say, maybe someone would say, like, 80 and 80/20 is BS, but when it
Mhm.
comes to your hunger hormones, like, they do need to be balanced, especially, like, don't get me started on perimenopause. Like, if your hunger hormones aren't balanced going into perimenopause, like, you're kinda effed. Like,
You're in
I that's
trouble?
harsh.
We'll
Yeah.
have a sidebar for this
Yes,
because
I know there's so
we
many
could be
topics we
approaching.
can Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we do
So
another episode, series 2,
yeah,
perimenopause, let's go.
totally, I love it. So, yeah, like, on vacation, it's like, I always say, if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution. If hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution. So, what are you looking for food to provide you with? On
Mhm.
vacation, it might be fun or pleasure or a reward. And it's like, how can you get that from other sources that don't leave you with consequences that you don't want? So, like, for a vacation for me, like, there's a lot of pleasure happening. Like, there's massages, there's hikes, there's deep connection, right? And you won't have a huge hit, but, like, the sugar gives you a big hit, right? It lights your
Yeah.
br it
Yeah.
lights your brain up. It's like a drug.
It is a drug.
But then you yeah, it is, but then you don't have the fallout, right? Like, so I'll give it
Mhm.
to you. The hike in nature with your partner where you're having a good deep conversation, that is sustaining, that is fulfilling, that is pleasurable, but the high isn't as high, and that's a
Mm.
good thing because then you don't have the
The
fallout on the
valley.
other side, the
Yeah.
low. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we wanna be asking is like, "What is food giving me, and how can I give that to myself in another way that gives
Mhm.
me the result that I want tomorrow and the next day and this summer?"
So
Right?
good. So good.
Yeah.
That's like those are great, great tips. So thank you for those.
Oh,
So I know that you're
thank
like,
you.
this whole journey started because you're like, I want to change the outcome for my daughter, right? And that you really
Mm,
like you help anybody, but it really started with I want to help
yeah,
moms. So
totally.
in your journey, how have you seen improving a mother's relationship with food affect children and family dynamics?
Oh my god, how much time do you have?
Go,
I mean,
give it to me, girl.
yes, okay, so oh gosh. Okay, so think about I'm gonna think about myself. 10 years ago, I'd wake up, I'd be like, I told myself that I wasn't gonna eat the freaking dark chocolate last night, and then I did it, and now I don't feel good, and now I'm gonna throw on like one of two pairs of Lululemons and like just go through my day, and I'd kind of have, like, this black cloud. I remember, like, one day sitting at my desk and be like, "Why don't I feel good today?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, because I didn't weigh what I wanted to weigh this morning, and because I ate crap yesterday, and blah, 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 blah." So it's like this black cloud would follow me
Mhm.
around all day because I didn't feel good. Emotionally, I didn't feel good. Physically, I didn't feel good. And I think about that all the time. I'm like, "God, if I hadn't healed this, I would just have this, like, subtle black cloud hanging
Mm.
around me." Like, I'd wake up and I'd be, like, feeling guilty or ashamed because yet again, I didn't honor my word. I'd go downstairs, I would probably snap at my kids. I feel bad for snapping at my kids, so what am I gonna do? I'm gonna eat their leftover French toast. Now I feel worse, right? And it trickles out into every aspect of the family. I just had a client tell me that her daughter said to her, like, "Mom, like, you're just so fun now. Like, you're just," and she said,
Mm.
like, "Mom, you talk more." And
Oh.
the mom, whose name also is Laura, actually, and she's like, "Why do you think that is? Like, when do you think this started?" And her daughter was like, "I think it is when you started Yummy Mummy." And Laura, my client, was like, "Yeah, you know what? I do talk more because I'm not in my head all the time, like, calculating my Weight Watchers points or my macros or,
Yeah.
like, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get in an extra workout to make up for the extra cupcake, or I'm not in my head beating myself up because what's wrong with me?" And so, I mean, I could go on and on, but, like, my kids also, they're like, "Can we go sledding?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go
Mm.
sledding." But I know if this is 10 years ago and I had kids at that time, which I didn't, but I would be like, "Ugh, I don't wanna put that snowsuit on." Like, I don't feel good in that snowsuit. And so then I'd be saying yes, but out of obligation versus, like,
Yeah.
yes, because I want to, like, I really wanna free the moms, and I really want, if my clients want it, to be like, I want them to be a fun mom. Like, I
Mhm.
think this is possible. Like, I wanna have fun with my kids. It's such a short amount of time. So if they're like, "Let's go
Yeah.
on the water slide," I wanna say yes. I don't wanna be, like, shackled to the chaise lounge because I feel like I can't take my cover up off.
Yep.
I mean, it trickles into everything. Intimacy, like, with my husband, like, I
Yeah.
mean, when I feel good in my body, like, I say yes.
Yep.
You
We're
know?
having fun.
Yeah, like, yeah, so I really think it trickles into every other area of our lives, and I think it's also just easier to pass down a healthy relationship with food in our bodies when we're just living it. We don't have to try hard, it just happens automatically.
Yeah. I know that there's so much head nodding going. They're like, "Oh my gosh, that's me in the lounge chair. Oh my gosh, that's me saying no
Yes.
to the swim party. That's me being like, 'Honey, can you take the kids sledding? Because I don't wanna put on the snowsuit,'" right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
guys, it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to have that relationship with food and weight and how you feel in your body. You need the
Yeah.
yummy mummy method. So tell us about that. Where can we
Yeah.
like if people are listening to this, and I know that this resonates with so many, which
Yeah.
is why I was so excited to have you on.
I love you.
Tell us, like, where can they find you? Where
Yeah.
can they explore it? And maybe give
Yeah.
us like a bonus ninja tip for getting started.
Yeah. Okay. So the ninja tip, well, so I had my team create a link for you guys so that you can get the perfect weight loss plan PDF for free.
Oh, I love
It's a
that.
whole playbook and there's videos that come with it and it's awesome. So I love it. This is what I was desperate for, like back in my dieting days. Like I wish I
Yeah.
just had this playbook. So you can go to lauraconley.com/plan. And my name is Laura Conley. So you can go get that free gift. You can go to lauraconley.com if you want to stalk me or you want to hop on a goal
We all wanna
setting
stalk
call.
you.
Yeah, come stalk
Yeah.
me. And if you
Yeah.
like podcasts, go listen to my podcast. Lose
Yeah,
weight for
and
the last time. Yeah.
we'll put all that stuff in the show notes for you guys too. So if you're driving and listening or walking and you're like, "Shoot, I don't have a paper." Don't feel like you have to rewind. It'll all be in the show notes for
Yeah.
you. And that is so cool. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Oh,
amazing.
yeah, go check it out. It's super fun. I, like, poured my heart into it, and I really had, like, past me and all of my past my clients in mind. It's like, this is what I would have
That's
wanted
where
for
the
them.
best stuff is born, right? Is you're
Yeah.
like, okay, once you like climb the hill and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I addressed this issue that I was having. Then you're like, what would I have wanted when I was
Exactly.
starting the journey? And if the like that's like where the best businesses are born from.
Mm,
So that's
yeah.
another little ninja tip for our entrepreneurial girlies that are
Yeah,
tuning in.
and I mean, the ninja tip, yeah, go get the playbook, but if you want something, like, right now, I would ask you to ask yourself, like, what do I want? Like, what is it that I think as women
Mhm.
and moms, we, like, forget to ask that question because we're so conditioned to take care of other people's needs and wants and desires, and so just you don't even have to answer the question. Just asking yourself, like, "What is it that I want?" And be willing to listen to what comes up and not
Mhm.
squash it right away. Because for me, I kept playing whack a mole with this desire to lose weight for the last time because I made myself bad and wrong for
Mhm.
wanting to lose weight because I thought that meant that I didn't love myself. And I thought then that's bad or wrong. But it's not true. You can love yourself and you can love your body and want to change it. It's not one or the other. And so just asking yourself, like, what is it that I want? Like, just being willing to ask it is, I think, a really great first step and a first, like, tangible thing. Just tuning out the external noise because there's so
Mhm.
many shoulds in our society. Like, you should be waif thin and freaking Kate Moss in the '90s, and then it's like the body positivity movement, and you should love your but, like, what if I actually don't feel good in my body? Like, so I could go on, but just asking yourself, "What
Oh
do
my
I
gosh. I
want?"
think that is like such a good takeaway is as a mom for sure, like you deserve to get what you want and to feel good and to have fun. So I love that
And
like
that's the best
takeaway.
gift for your family, like what you were asking
100%.
before with your family, like, it really does trickle down, and if you ask that question, like, if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution, what am I using food to solve for? Maybe it's a lack of pleasure or a lack of comfort, and then if you go get that for yourself in a true fulfilling way, your cup is full, and then you can I know it's cliche, but then you can actually pour from a full cup. Like, I actually wanna sit with my kid and do homework because my cup is full. And
Yeah.
I think so many of us are trying to give from empty and it's impossible. We're shells of ourselves. So, anyways, I could talk forever about this subject, so I'll shut
I
up.
love it. So the high note is fill your cup by start to fill your cup by asking yourself, what do I want? And
Mhm.
if you are nodding and feeling like this episode resonated with you and you know somebody that's struggling with weight loss journey or feeling confident in their skin, go share this episode with them. Go check
Mm.
out Laura, get the free guide and cut out some sugar.
I
Thanks,
love you,
hotties.
Danielle.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so